Welcome to Kidswear Therapy Podcast, brought to you by Pirouette Media. If you enjoy listening, please remember to follow, like, or even review us wherever it is you listen. Kidswear Therapy is a safe space to discuss the ups and the downs, the positives and the irritations of the kidswear industry. So join Linda and myself and our wonderful guests on Kidswear Therapy.
Hi, Katie.
Hi, Linda.
How are you? We're back from the shows.
I'm going to say what I said to everyone. I'm fine. I'm good. I'm not tired. No, I'm not
No,
tired.
I'm not exhausted by the heat. No,
No.
not at all.
No, everything's fine.
Good. Okay, should we kick off with Pitti then?
Right, let's go.
Let's go, because you had a bit of a spectacular extravaganza. It was a huge success. Massive well done, Katie. Everybody loved it. The runway, Piazza, Pirouette, and you just brought a certain je ne sais quoi to the Italian city of Florence.
Oh, thanks, Linda. Oh, God.
I know it was exhausting.
I think as well, like, I just, I love, I would say I love all the shows, and I just think, Pitti, what it's good at, is that side of it, the events and the, like that kind of wow factor, that spectacular, and they were very supportive with the projects that I was trying to do to bring the brands in, the aesthetic of the Piazza. Rich and I designed it, and Sarah, the architect, was absolutely just brilliant with working with us on it, and
It did look excellent. It had a real little boutique special feel to it.
yeah, I've been really banging on about this and about the fact that it's about buyers and the speciality of bringing people into having boutique sections, or like that kind of just bringing people in and an experience, because that's what the retail, what retail's like. They're wanting people to come in, they want the buyer experience, and I very much feel that is the way that the wholesale should be going as well. It set off the collections, like the backdrop, and making sure that there wasn't one brand that just stood out too much, with their branding, or, like a sympathetic backdrop to let the collection speak. And I was so pleased with that.
But it's actually great for buyers because it's a one hit, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's a little area. You know that every brand is great in there. And you can go and do that in 1 hour, 2 hours, and you've already ticked off on your list. You've got these 9 great brands. How many brands was it?
Yeah, it was 9.
It was
For
9.
me, it was very important to have brands that were ready to go, that they were experienced brands, that they can deliver, that they have a strength in their production and their manufacturing and the quality of their goods, that they have a large range in their collection as well, so that all the buyers are going in there. I was hoping that they can find something in there, a brand, or the brands could sit well beside each other. So that was the aim of it. And I mean, there was lots of things that we were testing. We were testing the gift bags, we made gift bags with the brands, and Sticky Lemon made a Piazza Pirouette brand bag, which has been a bit of a dream of mine, Linda, to have my own bag.
Fantastic. And who doesn't love a goodie bag? Let's be honest.
Yeah, but that part of it was as well was, they were wanting the bags to kind of go out to the buyers in their hotel rooms, and my thing about the design of the reception was that you get the buyers to come in, they collect their bag, and amazingly, the big guys, they all came in to get their bag,
Yeah.
and we had a nice chat with them, and there was, I think, more and more when you've got these projects, and what I've learned now, is trying to tie it all in together. So the runway, we had, after the runway looks, we had buyers going back to the brands because they'd seen the look on the runway, and then, going and placing, and they wanted, the cheese suit or the strawberry dress and everything like that. And it's just, it's in communication that's just, it's all encompassing. Like you've got all your different facets working together. And I must say, it was a lot of work, but I'm so pleased that the outcome of it. The feedback has been really, really kind, and also being Scottish, I just can't deal with any compliments. I just like, it's just, like when I could have like, just crawled into the ground, that evening when people were speaking to me, but it was so nice, but I struggle with that kind of stuff so badly, I'm just like,
Yeah, but it was well deserved, Katie.
oh, thanks, thank you.
And also, I think without it, the fairs feel a little bit flat without some kind of, you have to have some events. You have to have either you have a little party at the end of the day, or you have to have something that gives you something extra apart from just walking around looking at the clothes.
Yeah,
But
it's interesting. It's really interesting with the fashion show as well because, trying to make fashion shows viable is really interesting because they are not cheap things to do. Investment in them is incredible, really, and also about doing them properly, making sure that the models have permits, making sure that they are paid. It can be an expensive thing, but interestingly enough, who you're communicating to. So you're communicating with, the press, you're communicating with the buyers, everybody's there. And the amount of sharing afterwards it is like it's a good marketing venture. But then it is a big undertaking to do, and I actually have a really funny story that in the rehearsals day. So obviously, I thought I was going to be on the same flight as you from City, but we weren't. It was obviously evident when you hadn't left your house and that we were at the airport in City that you weren't on it. And so we had been up since 2 o'clock in the morning. A couple of flights, get into Florence. Florence is really hot, but then Helen, who was helping us, my good friend Helen, she'd lost her bag. That a whole trolley of bags from Charles de Gaulle had been left at Charles de Gaulle. So we went straight into rehearsals and everything, and like doing something like that, it's like, obviously, it's all the models are all Italian. You're instructing the models, and it's a lot going on, and I and also we had the gift bags to simulate and everything, so that was quite a big thing. But Helen was on that. But at 9 o'clock, it got to 9 o'clock. I was still at the show, and we were just getting the lines together in Italian and English for the mums for the two talking parts, just to make sure it was all secure and they could, that's what that they could rehearse them in the evening. And I sat down with Richard and Helen. I just could feel the tears, like just
oh,
scrolling down my face. And this lovely, 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 like Italian security guard. He looked a little bit like the guy from Up, and he came over to me and he put his hand on my shoulder and he went, I love you, like that. And then he
ah,
and he gave me a massive hug, and then he put his little fingers, like, to do, like, that thing when you
oh
turn the
yeah.
frown upside down the sides of my mouth. And I guess that's what's the lovely thing about Italians, is they're so incredibly tactile, and it was so nice, and it made me feel so much better. So thank you to that security guard, because I think I would have ran away and hid in a hole, uh,
But you managed to pop
otherwise.
up at the fireworks party instead.
Oh yes, yeah. Well, we felt that we had to, but I was very embarrassed to kiss anybody. Like, when you're doing that, fashion kiss thing with everyone. I was like, oh, I'm so sweaty. I've been traveling since 2 o'clock in the morning. But anyway, that fireworks were wonderful. So I mean, I guess, Linda, do you want to say any brands or any things
I
that?
guess you didn't see much of the fair.
No, I mean, I can tell you what I felt was really strong from, like, the Piazza brands. And I also had a good chat with Velocipede. They'd been on that flight where they were missing their collection. But do you want to start quickly first? Because Richard's got us on a timer.
Yeah. Okay, so, well, the luggage thing to begin with. Well, Velocipede, obviously, their clothes didn't turn up, which
Yeah.
was a disaster because most buyers go the first day. They had them by the second day, but you know, that's really, really tricky. Also, Petit Amelie, her clothes didn't turn up either. They were with her Middle
Oh,
East agent, and apparently they got stuck in customs. So again, they would have missed all the first day buyers. And I mean, it's really hard. There's not much you can do. The best you can probably do if you are actually physically going yourself is to make sure you pack something in hand luggage.
Yeah, I think that's a really good bit of advice because you know that we obviously we had the Piazza, sorry, Piazza, I've got blooming Piazza on the brain. That we had the Pirouette directory zines go of missing Park Floral for, and obvious, and I still joke that they're probably a peacock's nest now in Park Floral because they never turned up. And now we travel, we put them in every case, everything, split them up. And I think that's a really good idea. Never, ever just put everything in one bag. So, good advice.
Apart from that, I found the fair, you know how in Italy, girly is always girly.
Yeah.
This season, it seemed to be hyper romantic and girly everywhere. There was lace, there was broderie anglais, fresh white cotton with little lace trims on blouses, crochet, and so much overlaying lace over prints, soft, flowy dresses. I mean, super romantic.
This is exactly what I was going to say to you. I was like, and actually, I saw it at Paris as well, and also the buyers were talking to me about it. Everything last season was quite sporty? You know, it was like
And a little
sporty.
bit preppy as
Yeah,
well.
and preppy. And then this season, it is all about dresses. And I was laughing because I was thinking, I never wear dresses ever. And I wore dresses all every day. And it's all exactly what you said. It's all about beautiful, lovely, all first
Flowing, very flowy.
flowing, yeah, beautiful
Layers,
dresses.
lots of
Yeah.
tulle layers. I mean, is it all stemming from Chloe? Or is there something else at work here?
Oh no, I wonder what it is, but I couldn't agree with you more. It's like it's all about
It
yeah,
was
completely.
actually quite refreshing to find there was a Japanese brand, Marquis. They're very big in Japan, and they had very much the more the kind of clothes I expect to see at playtime, which is funky retro prints, funky t-shirts with a little tulle layer that you
Yeah.
could put over leggings or jeans. So you made yourself a little t-shirty dress in a way. But they had good boys wear too. But that sort of look was very thin on the ground at Pitti.
Yeah, that's so because again, that's what people kept saying to me was about this brand Marquise, is it Marquise? I didn't see them, but yeah, I definitely it was all about the yeah, it's all about the dress, really, isn't it? And how frou-frou you want it to be.
Yes, exactly. Do you want sparkle? Do you
Yeah,
want shell bead embroidery? Do
yeah.
you want tassels?
Yeah, very, very nice though. But yeah, in the so like in the Piazza, I can say we had Docatop was launching a new dock that is a more accessible dock. Comes below like the 100 euro price point. So that was a new product that they were launching. Obviously, Young Souls, you introduced me to their jelly sandal, which is really, it's one of those products, it's like until somebody talks to you about it and then you hold it in your hands, you don't realize just how brilliant it is because it's like a composite, isn't it? And it's got hemp in it, and it's got a cork sole, and they're thinking about putting different kinds of things in the what is it? It's recycled. I'll have to check it, but it's a great,
They're going
great,
to make
great
it a
product.
trifle, Katie.
It's a great product, so I would really say check out all their cork stuff because they're sneakers that have I've gone really American there, trainers, sneakers. They're leopard print ones with the cork insole, brilliant, like really cool, really trendy. So I just think, yeah, have a really good deep dive into their collection because there's aspects in there that are like so, brilliant little gems. Who else was there? Yeah, Bonnie Mob have done a collab with Patty Oslo, who do the knitted crochet like bunnies and things. So they've got their I think it's called, oh yes, it's called Bonnie.
Well, who'd have guessed?
I was about to go, what's it called? What's it called? And I was like, oh, come on, Kate. So Bonnie the Bunny. You've got to check out Bonnie the Bunny. And then Happyology, everybody a bit mad for their strawberry stuff because it's, if you're looking, it's like,
Well,
you're
it's a
pretty
girly dress again, isn't it? A little
really nice.
girly romantic dress.
Yeah, Raspberry Plum, her collection is about the theme is like the Red Shoes, the film, but just wonderful dresses from her. They're
But
just
also, she had one of the themes again that I saw running through, which was butterflies. A lot of people had butterfly prints, butterfly applique, other bits and pieces. And I saw in somebody's Instagram shot of ginger snaps, and they had butterfly hairbands. And I thought, there we go, there's another butterfly in Paris as well.
yeah, butterflies and strawberries
Yeah.
are everywhere. Who else? Yeah, Pad. So Pad is like I guess like their little yellow suit did so cute because it was something that was different because everything was like dresses, but their tailoring was really good.
Yeah.
The who Goldie and Ace was just their little girl on the runway. Their one, the model that was the lettuce, was just like she was so cute. So Goldie and Ace, they're just everybody. They're everybody's interested in their collection. Like all so much interest from agents all around the place. They're doing very well, or they're going to do really really well. So, yeah, I think that's everybody. Oh no, Sticky Lemon. So Sticky Lemon have got lots of really nice little accessories to do with their Wonders of the Sea collection. So they've got lovely little earrings, and really giftables, nice little because I was talking with a brilliant store that was from Vienna, beautiful store, and she was in having a look for like she wasn't going for clothes. She was at the show to find little kind of accessories and things to add to their collections. So yeah, definitely check out Sticky Lemon. They don't just do bags; they do lots of things. So there we go.
And of course, they were in Paris as well.
No,
No? Oh, they didn't
no,
do Paris this
no,
season.
no Paris. No, it's a tricky. I think it's been tricky times for people. Are we moving on to Paris?
We're on to Paris.
Are we on to Paris? Can I just say one thing, just
Yeah,
before
go
we
on.
move from Pitti? I really could not believe how well the bike installation worked. It was so funny because sometimes you do these
Another
things.
pat on the back for you, Katie.
Yeah, I know. So yeah, big head, Katie, big head. But I was really funny, the issue that we had, which I just want to talk about, which is funny, is that the kids loved it so much at the show that we had a bit of a playground situation going on, and the fact that we had it when they were intimidating when you were on the bike that they were wanting a shot. So like your kids at the playground, and you've said to your kid, right, you're like, oh yeah, you can have a shot in the swings, and then you've got a kid that kid that comes up and stares at you so much that you go, oh, I've got to get this little girl a shot. So yeah, that was quite funny. That kept making me laugh
That
because
happened when you and I were on the bike together.
yeah, the little girl, she was so funny, and we were just chatting away, trying to kind of see, oh well, she'll just let us get on with creating our content. Oh no, no, we had to give up. Anyway, that was funny.
So, Paris, you had a better look round. You had more time there. I know you were doing some videos, but what was your general feeling, Katie, about I Love Playtime Paris?
I thought so. The first, the first morning was felt super busy. Like it felt really, really busy because we do these interviews with the French trade organization for the French brands, Bonjour French brands, and I couldn't get into any of my French brands, which was. I mean, it's so rude of those buyers to go into the stands. So the feeling of it was obviously there's lots of brands there. It's a big old show. The vibe is that I think the buyers were really happy because there's lots and lots of brands there. Um, the brands, I think they were missing the Americans. The Americans, for obvious reasons at the moment and everything that's going on, not traveling. So
Strange because Europe is full of American tourists. But I guess for the buyers, do you think it's the tariff situation?
Yeah.
Right. In a word, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, there's lots, there's lots. I mean, people are finding inventive ways around it. Obviously, the manufacturing in China is a massive issue. A lot of people switched because of the pandemic and everything like that. They switched to China, and it's also not just because of the pandemic. It's also because China. There's lots of manufacturers in China that are more environmentally friendly. I think we have to stop with some of the stereotypes that have been going on for years. It's like the problem is, and this is the word I can never ever say, instability. Is that right? Yeah. The problem is like, 1 minute he's saying one thing and the next minute then there's a relief for 90 days or whatever, but this could be going on for it's going to go on for another 3 years for sure. So
And
it's
the
tricky.
exchange rates are like yo-yo at the moment, up and down.
Yeah, no,
That doesn't help.
it's just tricky. I mean, it seemed like there was South Koreans, there was Japanese, Chinese buyers. I didn't see so much, but I wasn't there on the Monday. The French, I didn't see so much French,
I think
but
they do tend to go Monday, don't they?
Monday,
They like
yeah,
their
that
weekend and then they go on the Monday.
yeah, but to be honest, I mean, I always think this is such a difficult one because, like, one person you talk to, they could be not having a great show because it's just their collection isn't fitting or, whatever. It's like, there was, say for example, Basha. Like, I couldn't get into Basha's stand because, and they, again, what are their outfits? They're pretty, pretty block printed dresses. I mean, stunning, but they were absolutely stout, back to back, people in all the time, right? So it's like,
So maybe there's a bit of a swing away from that unisex that people have wanted for the last 5, 6 years or so. Maybe this whole prettiness thing, boys being boys, girls being girls again, maybe that's just a kind of feeling in the air.
yeah, I think you might be right. I think you're right. You're bang on today, Linda. You've got this. You're bang on. Just moving on, actually, what was really cool again was this is really funny. So the first time I had people coming up saying that they listened to the podcast, and
Yay!
that was so exciting. That was so nice to get the feedback. There was a very small brand at the show that listened to kind of the podcast, and then there was a girl that was from Australia, and that was super nice. So hello everyone, and that was really nice that you were actually listening.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was cool. Right, do you
Hello,
want me to go through?
Australia.
Yeah, hello to Australia. Which Australian? I mean, their fashion at the moment with the kids' fashion and everything like that seems like it's booming.
Yeah, they've got some great labels. Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess so what another buyer was talking to me about how interesting it was that there's like a real boom of like Indian brands. Indian brands again with like a lot of the embroidery dresses, the linen dresses, all that kind of
Oh,
style,
there
but
was a
like
new one at Pitti, wasn't there?
yes.
Mira.
Yeah, so Mira were also at Playtime Paris, so they were there, and then there was quite a few more as well. And this is something that I've been really predicting at the moment, is I really feel like India, looking on social media, there's more and more, their Silicon Valley and everything with their tech that they've got going on is huge. And actually, talking with a friend that's a restaurateur, he was saying, they're getting more and more money, more and more expendable income, looking more and more at style and things like that. And I think that there's a bit of a seed coming there with kids clothing. So that's an interesting one.
They do have a big show out there in India. I mean, they've written to me in the past, quite a long time ago. Bombay, I think, maybe.
Yeah, I think it's part of the
Is it still called
CBME
Bombay?
group. Yeah, I think it's or Mumbai or something, CBME Mumbai, I don't know. But it's their Indian show, which could be an interesting one. What else? I've written some notes down. Looking in my notebook. I'm trying to do it quietly so I don't bang
Excellent.
the desk.
Excellent.
So yeah, look, I put season of the pretty dress. Note. Yeah, so a really nice South Korean brand. Motinous. That is, they've got pretty dresses, really, really nice. I liked it. A totally like a brilliant brand for editorial, so any stylists listening, is Poco Blush. Now they're a brand from China. They've got a new agent distributor in Europe, based in Germany, and their stuff is like it's wild, but it's so cool. Like they've got like a dress with kind of swans on it. You know, I'm obsessed with swans because we have swans outside our office. So they've got swans on it, and then they've got these like little kind of wings that come off. Like they're really playful, like wacky design, but something completely different. And then obviously we really like Fille Garçon, which is the leather brand. She's just got lovely attitude to her. She's out there to meet people. Her product's great. I really feel like there's lots of opportunity for her to do collabs with her cowboy boots and things. So I really hope that she made some connections at the show. Halcyon Knights were there. They were having a really good show. It was really nice to see Gretchen Co. She was saying about how she's making sure that her collections are going. Is it 2 seasons or is it 2 years? I don't know. I need to check. But the longevity of design.
And also with lifestyle,
Yeah,
that you can extend. It's not the same turnover as fashion. So if
yeah.
you are more of a lifestyle brand, then it's a bit easier to run a bit, longer. Interestingly, there's a designer in New York, Maria Corneo,
Okay.
and she's just announced that she's not producing any new designs now. She's been going for many years. I knew her years ago when she was in London. And they've got so many patterns. She's been in business 30 odd years that all they're going to do is use patterns that they've already got and try and use fabrics that are in store, and they're going to just sort of be working with that as a sustainable thing. Well, it's very interesting because actually, when you've got a distinctive style and you've got a customer that is a repeat customer, why do you need to produce new things every season?
Really agree with this. I'm thinking more and more because I mean, more just think about how expensive it is to create new samples every season, like new design samples, like obviously, you can take the same tech pack and everything like that, do it in a different fabric, tweak a bit, that makes sense. But to have completely new designs, which is wonderful for people like us as press, but to talk about, but is it very sustainable cash flow wise? If I really feel that certain brands should have their core collection that they're just trying to reach different markets in, because or reach new buyers, because there are new buyers out there. There's lots of people going out of business and there's lots of people starting the businesses. So it's my same old thing, which I was so guilty of this season, which I was laughing at myself. My thing was like, stop creating, da 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 da, put your business hat on. But actually, we were creating stuff to the very last second. But I do think that I think they should switch it up just a little bit. Obviously, try and create a new narrative, a new story each season. But if you can just keep trying to find new buyers for good products. If you've got good products and good collections, try doing that. So, yeah, I agree with your designer friend in New York. I think Playtime, obviously, it's a wonderful show, but I really feel like it could do with more events and things going on. I think that there's a decrease in press, right? So on the first day, I kind of felt like I was the only kind of kids fashion press, you know. I was messaging, I was messaging Petra, like, where are you? You know, um,
Why do you think that is? Is it because they're not bringing press in? That they're bringing maybe money influencers rather than
Yeah,
press?
I mean that's what I was going to say is like I don't know, but I mean I know that they've got partnerships with other press, some really long-standing partnerships, and they're a lovely team at Playtime. I love them to bits, but I don't know the influencers. I met some really really lovely influencers at the show. There was a lovely some lovely ones there, right? But there is a little problem having these kids and influencers at a wholesale show. So when I was going past one stand, they were getting quite upset about the fact of some behaviour that was going on by the children, right? That wasn't being monitored by the parents, which look, I've got children, you've got children, we've all been there, not your head gets turned to stuff, especially when you're obviously there at work, right? But it was causing a bit of mayhem to this brand who obviously their main purpose of being at that show is having buyers in at their stand.
So, yeah.
Right, and to sell, but the kids were going in and taking some of the stuff. It was just it was a bit problematic. And I would say, if you're going to have a certain amount of influencers and everything, you've got to make sure that there is an understanding of what the show is.
Yes, yes.
It
And
is,
what its main purpose is.
yeah, what its
It's
main
not to
purpose
supply
is.
your children with outfits.
Yeah, and it's really nice of them to meet the brands. It's really nice of them to meet the brands in a connection, but the reality of this, right, is this is like a whole season in advance. This stuff that they would want to be getting is like, is 6 months away, so I'm not sold on the fact that it is the right thing, right? And I know, actually, guys, influencers, you can write in, you can come on, you can tell us, you can tell me off. It's fine, I can take it. But I don't know. I think that I think, what are you looking for it? So you're wanting one, sometimes I'm lucky that brands let me share because they know me. I'm part of this, wholesale market, and my audience is retailers, agents, distributors, etc. But I don't know how much you want your pieces, with an influencer getting photographed 6 months before. Is that any benefit to you? I don't know. I could see brands getting a bit
It's
stressed
a
by
bit
it.
hard to say we don't want the kids when it's a kids' fashion show.
Yeah, I'm not
But
saying, yeah,
I
I'm
know
not,
exactly what, if I was a brand, I would be very frustrated too to have 4 or 5 kids running around and looking at the rails. And also, these stands aren't huge.
I also
We're not
think
talking
in
about a
the
massive stand here. We're talking about something the size of a big shed, really, aren't we?
kind of feel it's like it's in the pecking order of things, right? As well, it's like buyers come first.
Yeah,
You know
absolutely.
yourself. It's suddenly if somebody, and actually quite often it happens
Yes,
when you're in because people know you, or
yes,
I'm in because people know you. They think, oh right, well that person's talking. They've gone into that stand or whatever. So quite often, from being in a stand, there's a buyer that comes in or whatever straight after, or you have a chat and everything. And I think it's up to the shows as well to work with the influencers and say what it's all about. Maybe there's room for having appointments with a brand and taking them round and giving them that time. And it's not like just suddenly turning up when it could be buyer's time, or if your kid is really tired and your kid is hot, take them the the press room and get them something to eat and chill out for a bit, you know? So, oh God, that's a bit controversial. I might get into trouble with
okay,
this one.
that's Paris then. We're done.
Yeah, so that's Paris. Actually, to be honest, I thought it was a great show. Well done, Playtime Paris, and well done, Pitti Bimbo as well.
Well done, Pitti Bimbo. And next pod, well, I'll be doing SIF and you'll be doing Playtime New York.
Yes. Oh, here we
Phew.
go. Bye, Linda.
Bye, Katie.
Thank you for listening. Remember, you can continue the conversation in the Pirouette Directory forums at pirouettedirectory.com. If you've enjoyed our podcast and want to show some love, you can leave us a rating or review wherever it is you listen right now. Kidswear Therapy is a Pirouette Media production.